one Saturday morning.
Oh, Abu, things have been pretty tough around here, man. We gotta steal just to live. I tell you, man. You know, I gotta stay one step ahead of the bread line, one swing ahead of the sport. I only steal what I can afford, and that's everything. Oh, wait. Abu, I think we might have just found what we're looking for here. Check this out. What is this? Oh, I didn't mean to throw you down, Abu, but here, get down. You steal too much. Oh, Abu, what is this? I don't know what it is. It's made of gold. It must be worth something. It's kind of dirty. Let's see here. Oh,
I have awakened. Who has awakened the genie of the lamp? Wishes of 3. Hello? Hello? Hey,
what in the
I
world?
wanted to talk to himself or to say the lamp.
Oh, well, this is Rashard, is the owner and founder of Block Band Music and Publishing, a company where we give you music and instruments to marching bands across the nation. And I'm with the color commentary crew, where they give you views from a different side, ahead of the bread line. Oh, sorry. I thought I was going to be singing again. And today we're going to be reviewing the great new movie, Aladdin. I can't wait to get into it and do a whole new world. So let me go ahead and bring in my co-host here. What's happening, Genie?
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Yeah, it's your boy Chuck Taylor here. Chuck Taylor is a genie now. And, you know, I'm here with KFA's Party Easy. We do parties of all kinds. I'm so ready to get into this movie. You never had a friend like me.
Doom. All right. Let's talk about this movie, man. So, Chuck, why don't you go ahead and go first, sir? Let's just see if we can try to keep it to 5 minutes. But yeah, okay, non-spoiler real quick.
Oh, so non-spoiler. If you haven't seen any of the Aladdins, I'm sorry for you. I really enjoyed this movie. It took a little bit to get used to it because it was live action, so you kind of had to like see how they were going to play some of the action scenes and the songs. But once it kind of got started, and once you start seeing the characters, I thought it did a great job. I thought the genie really stole the show. Will Smith did his thing. I really enjoyed his, him as the genie. We love Robert Williams. He was awesome. Nobody can do a genie like that, but Will definitely put his swing on it and did his thing. So it definitely made the movie, fun to watch. The graphics were amazing. The tiger, they did a really good job with the CGI on the tiger, so that was pretty cool. And the bird and the monkey at times as well. All the characters were on there from the movies. I guess the only thing I didn't, they could have done a little better. Jafar was okay. I think that's why it took me down a little bit on the movie. He acted all right, but I guess it just took a little time to really get into Jafar's character. But all in all, man, I definitely tell you go watch it. It was fun. We all had a good time watching this one. Brings back all those kid memories of the cartoon Aladdin. What about you?
Riff raff, street rat, scoundrel, take that. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep going back to the singing portion. There was so much singing in this movie. I just keep singing all the time.
All the time.
Hey, man, I love this movie. I wasn't like a lot of other people who had a lot of doubts about it. Like every time they kept showing how Will Smith looked, I was kind of like, what's wrong with that? I mean, what is he supposed to look like? I mean, what the heck is a blue genie supposed to look like? I guess everybody's an expert on that. It didn't bother me that much. So I didn't have a lot of doubt going into the movie. I just know that Will Smith hasn't really had like a hit in a long time. And I was kind of concerned as to how he was going to play the part, because Will Smith is not Robin Williams. But once I saw some of the trailers, I realized that he's going to be Black Genie and not Comedy Genie. I was like, okay, he's like, cool, that Genie. Like, okay, I feel you. I feel you. But this movie was so much better than my expectations. Like, I could not have expected this at all. Like, I absolutely love this movie, man. I don't know what it was. I don't know how Disney did it, but I felt it was so magical. Like, really, that's the expression I kept thinking as I was watching the movie. It's like, this is just magical. Like, it's just it just feels incredible. Like I really am into this world that they have. I really connected with all the characters. All of the funny parts were hilarious. There's one scene where Genie and Aladdin are giving gifts to Jasmine. That may have been the funniest part in the whole movie
That
to
was
me.
pretty funny. Yeah, they have some good. That was a good scene.
Yes,
We get on that one
but
spoiler.
it's filled with them. And I thought that one thing about I was watching another review about the original Aladdin, and they were saying that the problem with the original Aladdin is at the end of the movie it kind of peters down a little bit, like the energy kind of goes down. So I was wondering if that was going to happen with this one, but no, like the climax was good. And also they add a couple things as far as Jasmine's character is concerned in order to update her character for the 21st century. And I really appreciated that. I liked it. It made sense that they were going in that direction. So I liked it. I think everybody should see it. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I know this is tough, but this might actually be my favorite movie now. Like after the movie was over, I'm like, that movie was incredible, and the people in our audience, they gave it a round of applause after it was over. So before Creed 2 was my favorite movie, regular Creed was my favorite movie, but now this might be at the top. I need to see it again, but this might be at the top. So any other comments on the non-spoiler review, sir?
Trying to think about what I can say non-spoilery. But yeah, I just kind of echo some of the things you said with this new storyline that you'll see. It is for this time, so it makes a lot of sense. After watching the cartoon before I went and saw it, it definitely, if they didn't add the parts that they added into the movie, it would have been lackluster. So they had to kind of give it a little oomph and give it, have it make some sense, because a lot of times in the cartoons, like one thing I can say, like, if you don't see guards and things and people in the palace, you just think the same two characters in the whole palace. So in this movie, they make it feel more like it's a palace and it's a kingdom. They're not just like, oh, just the sultan and the princess and Jafar up in the whole palace. So I like how they added some characters and made it seem more real. So definitely, I think they did an awesome job. It was a great movie.
Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and break it down and get into the actual spoiler review. So if you haven't seen this movie, go watch the movie and then come back. But it doesn't matter because you know how Aladdin goes. You know what happens in Aladdin. We're not going to tell you anything new. All right, sir. So 5 minutes. Let's go. What do you think about what's the spoiler review of this movie?
Okay, so I'm going to say, this has always been one of my favorite Disney movies. Is up there with Lion King. I love the music. They did a really good job with the music. I like how they kind of slowed it down and kind of made it a little bit more, I guess, how someone would sing it if they're trying to run from somebody. So it wasn't like the best melody all the time, but it was like they kind of slowed it down through some of the scenes when he's in the marketplace running and jumping over things. But I like how they brought that musical feel to it with everybody, chasing them and everybody singing their tunes. Even when he went into the, I guess it was the women's room, and the lady starts trying to beat him with the stick and everything, and he jumps out the window. And like they brought everything back from the cartoon version to the real life. So I really enjoyed watching it. And then when I first saw it, I mean, you see Jasmine so early already in the marketplace. That kind of threw me off for a little bit. I was like, okay, Jasmine's already been going to the marketplace. Because on the cartoon, it kind of builds up to her going, and then they meet and everything. So they kind of throw her out there already, and they kind of talk about what happened to her mom. It was like, oh, she had a mom, because of course the cartoon never talks about the parents and what actually happened to them. So it was kind of cool to hear
Disney
that.
Moms are dead.
Yeah, all Disney moms always dead. There's always single parent homes in these Disney films. So she goes. So she basically, nobody's seen her for all this time since her mom passed away. So that was a good little. I was like, that's why she's unable to go out of the kingdom. It makes sense now. So I'm glad they threw that little dialogue in there. But her Aladdin and her working on screen together, I thought were really good. The carpet, when they did their carpet song, "A Whole New World," yeah, I was like, that's my part. That's my jam. This is perfect. They did a great job. So
that song is the source of the single greatest musical transition there's ever been. Now I'm in a whole new love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. We over singing over here. Yeah, that's what Aladdin's supposed to do. You just the music is so good on Aladdin. So it was so good to see it and just really enjoy it. And one of my favorite parts was the genie. Me. When I came out and like everybody was like on hands and knees, like, okay, how's Will gonna do this? Because there's so much backlash with him, and Robin Williams did such a great job, and he was such a great performer. So it's like, how will Will do it? I knew Will was gonna bring it home, but yeah, he came in there, he brought his swag on it, he got the jokes out there.
Big Willie style.
He did the dancing and the singing when he came out, and he had the monkey doing all the drums and everything. It was beautiful. I loved it. The graphics were awesome, and then I think the best song that just kind of like made it go up another notch was when Prince Ali, when he comes into the city and everybody's singing. He has all the he has monkeys. He has the monkeys, and he's like just jumping around. So I was like, this is so good. Like I couldn't have wanted a better picture. They brought all the characters to life. The songs were awesome. I didn't know how they were going to do it. I'm glad they had CGI the elephant, because I don't know they would have had a real elephant kind of doing that sort of thing. But it was good all the way around. I guess the only kind of, are we doing dislikes right here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The only really, I guess, dislikes I would have sometimes, I guess, I felt that Aladdin and even with Jasmine, they could have acted a little more, had a little more urgency and a little more emotion behind their acting. I could tell they were maybe new actors because they just didn't really jump into some of those. Like when he falls and is in the cave, or even when he turned around to see and says, what's the monkey's name?
Abu.
And he like on the cartoon, he's like, Abu! He's like screaming at him like, no! And then like when he turns around, he's like, Abu. And even like, when he's running for his life, he jumps and he's like, magic carpet. Like he doesn't seem like he's about to die, the whole time. And even when he's in the cave, he's like, darn, we're stuck down here. Like he gave a lot more emotion in the cartoon than he did in the live action, so that was my biggest thing. I was like, come on, man, give me a little more oomph. Play that Aladdin part, because Aladdin was like, screaming, you dirty jackal, and all that type of thing. Oh, and this is probably the worst part of the scene that I didn't like, was when the I guess the other prince came in and the guard almost hit the kids with the horse, and he moves the kids out the way. He said, called him, you little street rat or something like that. And he's like, who you calling street rat? He said, you'll never be a street rat. You die a street rat. Only a fleas among you. Ha! Like that whole song, like y'all rushed that, didn't you? Like the dude, he gets into him on the cartoon, like he like, you will die a street rat, and only your fleas. Like he gets into it, like that dude's like or reading off a card or something, like he can't act or something. I'm like, come on, they could have done that part better. I'm like, the cartoon like does it justice, and he just kind of like runs off. Let's go, Zabu. So those are like my only things. Like some of the scenes with Aladdin, he just didn't act as well as I thought he did on the cartoon. But I definitely like Jasmine's part and giving her a little more of a, giving her a more character development, having a reason why, and her becoming the Sultan at the end made sense because she was, been prepared for that, and they didn't shy away that it was only about, Prince. So I like how they brought that in. But everything else was really good. Will did his thing. Jafar had me a little on edge, but then I thought he brought it through by the end. He really gave him some meaning of why he was trying to be a bad guy. Like he came up like Aladdin, and then he was more like, okay, the second is not. We knew that second wasn't his thing. He wanted to be first because of where he came from. So. yeah. So that part was good to me. I really enjoyed it. And I love the movie. What about you?
Well, real quick, I'm going to read a comment here that Mr. Aaron Dowen just posted here. It says, I literally just got back from the movie and loved it. I had a crazy thought with a younger Jafar. What if they had him as Aladdin's father? He said his parents were gone. Then they were in the sand together. Jafar said he was a common thief once too. Huh. Pretty good theory right there. It's like one of them in-game theories right there. I don't know. Yeah. Could have been. Could be. Good theory there, Aaron. Appreciate you sharing that with us, bro. All right, let me see here. My thoughts on this. Yeah, like I said, I love this movie. I love Iago. The bird was awesome to me. And to me, when they made this movie, they must have gone back and watched some of the old Transformers cartoons. I know you can't relate to this yet, but back in the day, the old Transformers cartoons, there always used to be this robotic bird called Starscream. And he would always be spying on everything. Like every time the Autobots came up for plan, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to this dam and we're gonna help the humans get all the energy in the world. And then after seeing the end, you see the bird. And that's exactly what Iago was doing. He would always go back. So I loved him, man. His scenes he'd always be like Sackett. And at the end of the movie, he was like, what did he say? Bye, Jafar. And then Jafar grabbed him. I mentioned it during the non-spoiler review, but the scene with Aladdin giving the gifts was hilarious. Will Smith was comedy gold there when he's like, in 10,000 years, I've never been so embarrassed. That was great to me. Let me see here. And yeah, man, the movie just showed real, genuine emotion. Like, I laughed when it was funny. I was really concerned about the characters. I wanted Aladdin to learn the lesson, stop all this lying and stuff, I mean, because, the way to a girl's heart is to be yourself and also to have a magic carpet. Be yourself and have a magic carpet.
Have a magic carpet. So you can see a whole new world.
Exactly. Because that lesson gets overlooked a lot. Like, yeah, he was himself, but he also had the magic carpet. Have a nice, be yourself and have a nice car.
Nice car. Be yourself and have a nice vehicle. There you go.
There you go. That's the secret to it. Let me see. Will Smith, after he was freed from the bonds of being a genie, was great. Like when he first was when he was, what is it? When he said when he took, basically he made it so he wasn't a genie anymore. And then like the look on his face, like you talked about, like the acting from the other characters, like Will Smith, he nailed it. Like right there, it's like, gosh, man, like I really feel your emotions right now. Like it took me back to when he was the Fresh Prince. Like, why don't nobody want me, man? The singing was good. Will Smith sings a lot better than I thought. The girl was great. Her voice was really good.
Yeah, her voice is really good.
I really didn't have a lot of
voice was alright.
What you say?
So I thought Aladdin's voice was pretty good too.
Yeah, he's decent. He was decent. My only dislikes were kind of weird. It was like when Will Smith first started out as a genie, it took me a second to kind of accept him. It felt weird initially.
So when he first came out?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It just kind of felt weird.
What about that first song?
The song was fine. Just him being a genie initially just kind of seemed kind of weird. But I felt like he grew into the character. Like by the time he got to the Prince Ali scene, he was perfect. He was perfect from then on out for the rest of the movie. I was kind of weird with how he portrayed the character. Like I didn't understand all the feminine gesturing that he was doing. Like, he's like, I want to go to the club. That's fine. Like if you're going to be the gay genie, okay, that's fine. Be the gay genie. But it's weird to be the heterosexual genie with all of this. That was I didn't understand his choices as far as that was concerned. That was weird. Understand
that. It's like black comedian 101. Do the funny gay guy every once in a while. This is what they do.
To me, like but when those characters, when they do it, it's kind of like you talked about, like Chris Tucker, like before the show. Like when Chris Tucker does it, he's like, "Hey, I'm Chris Tucker. I'm Chris Tucker. Hey, man, why you shooting me, man?" Like he switches into that. I didn't really feel like Will was switching into that. I thought he was just that. But it's funny to me, like when he saw that handmaid and all that stuff went away, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to this club. Oh, look at that right there. Let me go and knock on this door. Boom, boom, boom." Like, go ahead and start working out real quick. Like all that went away. And the other thing was like the new official, A Whole New World. Like it pales in like the one that plays after the movie. Yeah, that pales in comparison to People Bryson and Regina Bell. Like I need to hear that again because they nail it. So whoever sings this new one, like, but other than that, the movie was like nearly flawless, man. So I love it. So anything else to say about Aladdin?
I mean, it's a lot of things I want to say about Aladdin. I mean, I can't wait to go watch it again. I guess one thing that I was wondering if they were going to do was the big snake. You know, when he turns to a sorcerer. So I was a little upset they didn't do the snake thing, but it was okay. The ending was still pretty good. You know, with him basically fighting, you know, Jasmine and Aladdin, and he turns to the bird and everything, and they're all basically chasing, trying to get that lamp. I thought that was pretty cool way to kind of end it and get everybody, you know. It was a great battle scene at the end, so I really enjoyed that. I like how they tricked him. Also, when he turned into the genie at the end, I was hoping he would have turned like red, like they gave him more like how Genie is blue. So I thought they would make him turn red like he does in the cartoon. But you know, it is what it is. But it's cool. I thought they did a really good job.
Nice. And what's up to Clyde Cerner over there checking us out, and Mr. Joe Beard from the Marching Podcast look like. I think that's him that's checking us out over there. So cool. People say what's up. All right, guys. Well, if you like what we did, make sure you give us a like. Go see this movie. It's an amazing movie. Make sure you leave a comment on the YouTube video and also on our Facebook video, letting us know what you thought. Was our singing amazing? A whole new world. Don't sing that with don't sing that with. Yeah, you can sing that song.
Never. Well, that means.
As usual, you've got to subscribe to survive. This is Color Commentary, where we give you views. And Genie, I ain't releasing you, bro. I get plenty of wishes. So you're not getting. You're not.
So I can get these chains off. Dang it! Hate you.
Peace.